So you want to put your music on streaming. A little birdie told me you want to put your music on streaming, or you already have your music on streaming. You got your little distributor, you got your little wave files, and you want to upload them so people can, you can tickle people's ears and all that. But you're wondering what the importance of HDSP, digital streaming platform, is. You probably already know about Spotify. Spotify is the one that's hammered down everyone's throats or ears or whatever it is. So you probably have an idea about that. And, to be discovered and to make it and break it as a big, big artist, you got to upload the Spotify and hit that algorithm. But you're wondering about all the other ones. Well, do I got news for you? I got some good news. I'll tell you about the other streaming platforms. You're wondering about YouTube, Soundcloud, Bandcamp. Are they important? Why are they important? If they're important. And I'll tell you, in my humble opinion, with my great amount of 400 something monthly listeners and 1,600 IG followers, that they are. And I'm the arbiter of truth on the subject. Not really, but with that being said, disclaimer about those numbers, I do interact greatly with a lot of people on those platforms. I have pretty good fan interaction. I have people, listening to my music a lot, rinsing it. It's a small number, but it's sizable and it's something that I feel. I do make experimental alternative hip hop, so that is a little more niche. So the people who tend to listen to my music also like to rinse and repeat it a lot, but that's just what works for me. So I put my music everywhere. I think the first thing that's important is everyone should just put their music everywhere, because you don't know who's listening and where anyone is listening. It's different countries with different listeners and using different platforms. So I think that's all good to keep into account. Anyway, but with that being said, Spotify are the big hitter. Spotify, the big boy, the big girl, the big non-binary individual, because we're inclusive over here. Spotify is the app that has the biggest fan base or user base and does provide probably the most music discovery. Their algorithm is really insane. It's really good at showing you artists that you're probably going to like based on who you listen to, and creating all of these auto-generated playlists. We used to have the people-generated playlist. That was popular for a bit, but now they have a lot of the auto-generated ones. And it'll find you a lot of artists that you like. So if you end up on those lists, you're probably going to get a lot of streaming numbers. That's also why it's important to make sure you take care of your algorithm. If you end up on a playlist that's maybe botted, not only would you probably get banned, but that will mess up your fans also like section, which is basically what your algorithm is. And it's putting your music in a bucket is like, okay, this is what fans also like. If someone likes this music, we're going to show you them. That's why the algorithm is super important. And you have to build that to get discovered on Spotify. But that takes a lot of time. And it could be genre dependent. There's so many other factors to it. And I do think the algorithm may favor more established individuals within that algorithm, which can be hard if you're first starting out. But even if you get there, I'm a really active listener. If I like something on a playlist, I will stop what I'm doing, see what the name and artist is, and press the heart button or the plus button, whatever it is nowadays, because they keep changing it. I will do that and maybe go down a rabbit hole on that artist and discover them that way. Spotify is really good for that. But that doesn't happen to all of us. So with that being said, that leads me to, before I get to the next thing, Spotify. Spotify also has a lot of passive listening. A lot of people throw on a playlist. You go into the beach with some friends. You're going snowboarding, and then you fall and you hurt your right shoulder, and it's never been the same. A lot of passive listening. So people are really just listening to it without really paying attention. So the songs will just pass by. So you get streams, but you may not get a big conversion rate of fans, or people actively, intimately listening to your music, Because if you're watching this, you're probably a musician and you probably have a musician's ego and you probably want people to be like, oh, your music is so good. So I don't know how much Spotify does that unless you really, boom, blast off. YouTube, however, now YouTube music, it might be the same, whatever. I know YouTube. YouTube is good for building that relationship with people who listen to your music. You can make music videos, YouTube shorts. You can showcase your personality. Maybe give some tips of things you've learned along the way, like me and you are doing right now. That can help you build the relationship with your, listeners. Someone may like what you're doing and drop a comment below and you interact with them and then you have a great friendship. When I first started making music again, like seriously, someone commented on my YouTube page when I had like 10 views saying it was like amazing and they want to listen to the rest of my music. And I still talk to them now. And that meant so much to me, that one listener, I think YouTube is really good for that. The algorithm works in a very similar way, but I do think that if you're a smaller artist, you have a better opportunity to be, shown if you're just doing the work or throwing in making in your YouTube videos. A lot of subgenres or niche genres, such as like vaporwave or nightcore and stuff like that, came out on YouTube or via the internet. All right. I'm a millennial Zoomer cusp. All right. So YouTube had a big impact for me. But like, I found so many artists and so many subgenres through YouTube's discovery. Like, the way I got into vaporwave is I think I was listening to like Denzel Curry back in the day. Then that led me to Raider Clan, which led me to Lil Ugly Mane, which led me to Bones, which led me to Macross's Sailor Wave. Like, it just creates such nice rabbit holes for people to really get into. And it's also, I've heard, really easy for a lot of gamers to throw up YouTube in the background and just listen to music. So I think YouTube is really important for so many different reasons. And it's the other spot where a lot of music is discovered. And I've heard, I can't verify this, but I heard a lot of music that gets popping on TikTok a lot of times does come from YouTube first. So take that with what you will. Now, other one, SoundCloud. SoundCloud is primarily community based. I know SoundCloud had its whole era, like 2015, 16, 17, where the rappers came through, ran through, got what they wanted, and then left. But SoundCloud, I still think it holds a key role. I've connected with so many artists on SoundCloud that have, continued listening to my music or I've collaborated with. I think the key difference is when I use SoundCloud, I use that when I'm connecting with people on like Reddit threads and Discords. When a song first comes out, I will use a Spotofy link to try to get that algorithmic stuff going on. But like after a week or so, I will use SoundClouds because it's easier for me to go, hey, here's my song. Let me listen to your song on SoundCloud. Let me like it, comments, what I liked about it, whatever. Building that relationship, that one-on-one relationship where we're supporting each other, maybe giving each other advice. And then usually that leads to them, we follow each other, we listen to our music in the future, and that will probably eventually lead to Spotify or wherever else, you want to see them. It's almost like a cross-pollination, but it's really communal. So when I'm in Discords or Reddit servers, just sharing music, SoundCloud is one of the go-tos, and I think it's really good for that. They also send out your music when you first drop a song to like 200 people or something like that to see what they would like or if they like it. I don't know too much about those details. I know SoundCloud's going through an overhaul. They like opening a record label. They have A&Rs who work there. So, just keep in mind that we don't know what's going to be the dominant platform or way of getting your music heard in X amount of years from now, right? Like this could all change. So I think that's why it's important to having your music absolutely everywhere. So now Bandcamp for the nerds, the music nerds, like you and me. Maybe not you, but me for sure. Bandcamp is an interesting one. I think I found out about it probably in the early 2010s. There was some like internet labels with some like really obscure bands that I really liked. And it was a really cool way for me to not only get their discography, but I was able to download it. A lot of times they were just like, hey, put in a donation. And I was broken in high school. So I put 0 because they let me put that option. And I'm forever thankful for all those artists. But with that being said, Bandcamp is a really nice way for you to not only have your full discography up, but also for fans that have an intimate relationship with your music. People can buy your WAV files, they can buy merch, they can buy CDs, vinyls, stickers, whatever. And if they buy it on specific Fridays, you keep all the proceeds, which is really dope. Um, Bandcamp also has this whole editorial function as well. I think a lot of the editorials got laid off though because of capitalism. But yeah, they like really showcase people and be like, hey, this artist is doing really good things. You should check them out. And there's a lot of really good alternative and experimental artists that got those editorials on Bandcamp, and it did a lot for them because those people who are on Bandcamp may not be a large number, but it's a very dedicated number, and there's people who will support you. On Spotify last year, I maybe got like 18,000 streams, something like that. But one person bought my album or one of my albums on Bandcamp, and that was almost as much as I made in streaming that year. You get what I'm saying? Like literally one person outdid almost like 18,000 streams. You get what I'm saying? So like having Bandcamp there for people like that are going to be really important because you never know who's going to want to support you and buy your stuff and have that type of relationship with your music. Or it's even a place just to house everything in like one go. You know what I mean? So I think that's the important thing about Bandcamp. So Spotify, YouTube, SoundCloud, Bandcamp, that's where all my music goes. Consistently when I release singles, EPs, or albums. And they've all served a very different but important function to this whole entire music journey. All the other apps, like Apple Music, Deezer, Audiomack, I don't really know about them. I don't know about their impact. I have heard anecdotally Apple Music, some people who like to buy singles and stuff still do that on Apple Music. So that might be a whole option. I know some of them may pay more, but Tidal, even like I don't really know how to leverage those that much. But when it comes to those four, I think they all serve a different but important purpose to what you can do with sharing your music. Obviously, I left out other discovery forms like Instagram, TikTok. That's a whole different conversation. If you want me to have that conversation with you, I can also do that because I also use a lot of different ways to socialize with my music. But when it comes to streaming, those are the four I use. So I hope this encourages you to upload your music absolutely everywhere you can because you never know who's listening, who's watching, and who wants to hear it. So that's it.